What happened on this farm in Poland has the potential to be incredibly serious, with implications far beyond the tragedy of the death of 2 civilians. The details are still unclear, but it's claimed that this was the consequence of a stray Russian missile, the first of this war to hit inside a NATO country. For now, investigation rather than retaliation is the immediate response. The United States says it can't confirm the reports from Poland, but is indeed investigating.
We are aware of the press reports alleging that 2 Russian missiles have struck a location inside Poland near the Ukraine border. I can tell you that we don't have any information at this time to corroborate those reports. And are looking into this further.
Among the theories being investigated is that one or more were brought down by an air defense system and landed just across the Polish border. The missile landed at a farm in the village near Privado, less than 10 kilometers from the border with Ukraine. A spokesperson for the government of Poland called the situation a crisis and said an emergency meeting of the National Security Bureau has been called.
Because of the seriousness of the situation that we're dealing with, the President has just finished a conversation with the NATO Secretary General. We are verifying the circumstances under which we might invoke Article 4.
The Ukrainian president says the longer Russia feels impunity, the more there will be threats to everyone who could be reached by Russian missiles, while Moscow says suggestions that Russian missiles hit Poland are a provocation. The Polish government is not yet assigning blame, but it's clear who it believes did this, and its carefully chosen words are an attempt to prevent an escalation. Whether this was deliberate or not is incredibly important, because it may well dictate how the NATO allies respond to this. The more serious course of action perhaps is the invoking of Article 5. This is one of the founding principles of NATO, which dictates that an attack against one member state is effectively an attack against all members, and so what's deemed an appropriate response may well follow. However, if member states assess this to be a Russian missile which was not part of a deliberate attack against Poland, perhaps a missile that was taken down, or even a stray fragment hitting the farm within the Polish territory, they may well look towards invoking Article 4. Article 4 is triggered when a member state says their security or territorial integrity is threatened, and what happens after that are consultations and essentially a signal to the perceived aggressor that NATO is really watching. Despite the seriousness of the situation and the incredibly stark language being used by many analysts, the leaders of the appropriate countries have not yet blamed Russia. It seems that everybody is being incredibly cautious because escalation is so potentially dangerous. Yakut Tobias for CI Radio News.